Welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita, Khemka.
And I'm Yatin, Mota.
Well, the day started on a fairly positive note, but by midday we had given up most of the gains, and in fact, in the second half, we fell even more, and in fact, we have ended the day below that 19,300 mark. In fact, the August series FNO's expiry has happened below that 19,300 mark. Even the Sensex, of course, slipped below that 65,000 mark. And if you look at the broad end of the markets, they held firm. The mid-cap index was up somewhere around 0.1% or thereabouts. Strength in the small-cap index as well. If you look at some sectoral performance, barring the IT and realty pack, most of the sectors ended the day in the red. In fact, PSU Banking as well as FMCG were the pockets that were the worst hit. If you look at the Nifty gainers, few and far between today, but still Maruti is standing out given the fact that Maruti had hit a fresh record high in today's session. Cipla, HDFC Life, Titan, Hindalco were some of the other gainers. And on the losing end, you had Adani Twins, BPCL extending losses, Aisha Motors as well as Tata Consumer. Well, as I was mentioning, the mid-cap index was holding up, and lots of movers when it comes to the mid-cap end of the markets. In fact, in the last half hour, we saw some action, in the wake of the MSCI rebalancing that happened, right, Yatin?
Clearly, and a lot of stocks wherein rebalancing was seen, we could clearly see some price and volume action. In fact, apart from the MSCI candidates which saw good price and volume action, we also saw a good price and volume action with respect to Jio Financials. Because this stock also got selling from Sensex related passive funds on the back of rebalancing. So from today, Jio moves out of the Sensex, which was earlier planned because of the upper lower circuit issues. This decision could not be taken. So finally today we had the index funds who track Sensex. They sold shares in the Jio Financial, close to 6 crore shares, and you could see that in the last half an hour. Most importantly, Nifty exclusion for Jio Financial is likely to happen next week, according to a note by Noama.
All right, lots of action in the mid and small cap end of the markets as usual. But on that note, let's take a look at the stocks that are on our radar this afternoon. Starting with Maruti, Yatin, the stock hit a fresh record high, up 2%, and in fact has ended right at the 10,000 rupee mark. We have a bullish view coming in from JP Morgan. It has come out with a report and has a neutral rating with the target price of 8,800. But it believes that the stock has the potential to outperform its peers in the near term. Well, it says that the consensus is baking in an optimistic scenario around market share sustenance as well as margins, even as amid the backdrop of rising discounts as well as inventory. And channel checks, according to JP Morgan, suggest that wholesale volume prints should be strong and lead to market share improvement for the company. Remember, Maruti has launched a slew of SUVs starting from Vitara, then Jimny, Fronx, Invicto being the latest one, and it's slowly making a mark in the SUV market as well. And the company's SUV market share has in fact improved to 23% in the first quarter of FY24 vis-a-vis 18% in FY23. If you look at Maruti's EV game plan, it did arrive on the scene pretty late, but now it has as many as 6 new launches lined up by FY31. So that's, even though it was fashionably late, but it has its, game ready when it comes to the EV landscape. In fact, the automaker had its AGM also recently, and it has outlined its plans to double production capacity to 4 million over the next 8 years or so. The overhang that was there when it had announced its stake buy in the Suzuki Maruti, the Gujarat plant, that is also out of the way, given the fact that it will, be issuing preference shares and it will not be a cash deal. So that overhang is already out of the scene. So all in all, things looking good for Maruti, and of course auto sales also coming out tomorrow. Expectations are that August sales may grow somewhere around 12% on a YOY basis. So the stock will be in focus tomorrow as well, and on a YTD basis the stock has gained somewhere around 19%. So looks like the going is good for Maruti as of now, but JP Morgan does say that after the festive season it will become a little cautious given the fact that its competitors may come out with new cars, and that may pose some bit of a threat.
Absolutely, and we have a lot of choices in the market these days, be it Kia, be it Hyundai, be it listed players like M&M. All of them have been starting to target market share held by Maruti, especially by launching a lot of products in the micro, mid and large size SUVs. But that was about Maruti. Today the stock which saw some momentum in the first hour of trade, that was BHEL. The stock has anyways been rallying for the past few trading sessions. Today also ended almost at the day's high, 2% higher. Now, Antique has come out with a note on BHEL. They have a buy rating. However, the target from 110 has been increased to 158. So, almost a 40-45% increase in target is what we saw by Antique with respect to BHEL. Now, yesterday NTPC announced capex for its Lara power plant, which is almost to the tune of 15,000 crores. And BHEL post the market hours announced that this Lara supercritical thermal power project's EPC contract is awarded to BHEL. According to estimates, since BHEL is not given the order value, according to estimates by Antique, this order for BHEL could be over 10,000 crores up to 12,000 crores. So, a big order coming in for BHEL. In fact, Antique believes that this order win should re-rate the stock meaningfully over the next few months or so, and there are other orders also which are in the pipeline. So, on the back of order wins as well as some kind of turnaround in the EPC business, brokerages have been bullish on the stock of BHEL.
All right, that was about BHEL. I think the stock has been on an upward trajectory for quite some time now. But the other stock on my list today is BSC. Now, this stock has hit a fresh record high as well. Stock has been up somewhere around 15% in the last 5 sessions. Yesterday I think HDFC Securities came out with a bullish report on the stock, wherein it has upgraded the stock to buy from add. In fact, target price has been raised to 1230 rupees versus 940. The stock is already above that 1000 rupee mark. HDFC Securities expects the derivative market share for BSC at 10% by the fourth quarter of FY24. BSC, of course, has been trying to up its game when it comes to the derivative segment, and it has been trying to wrestle with NSE as well when it comes to this segment. So, HDFC Securities believes that the steps taken by the new management are yielding results and will boost margins going forward, and it has raised the EPS estimates by 7 to 11% for FY24 and FY25. Remember, the stock is up 89% on a YTD basis. Now, the market share gains, according to HDFC Securities, will be led by onboarding of large member brokers, launching of new weekly index contracts, and of course increase in active traders as well. Remember, the company had announced a buyback worth 375 crore rupees back in July. Interesting to note that the stock price is up 30% over the buyback price of 816 rupees or thereabouts. But the timeline of the share buyback is still, awaited. The details about the timeline of the buyback is still awaited. But, all in all, good going for BSC, and, looks like it is on an upward trajectory for the time being.
Absolutely. In fact, apart from BSC moving 10%, we also saw the stock of MCX moving today, Nandita. So, that stock also was up 3.5% last time I checked. So, both the exchange stocks which are listed have been witnessing some bit of good momentum.
All right, traction coming in on exchange stocks, but I think with that, we have exhausted the list of stocks that we had on our radar this afternoon. But of course, if you have any comments, leave it in the comment section below, and we'll take note of that, and we'll be back with the markets. But don't forget to tune in at 5:30 p.m. For our GDP coverage. That's time when the Q1 GDP data will be, declared. So tune in for that. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates.
How do world leaders view India?
I've long believed that the relationship between the United States and India is will be one of the defining relationships of the 21st century.
The bright spot of the global economy.
The growth rate for India, which is 6.8 in 2022. Let's not forget, this is one of the bright spots in the global economy right now, such a high growth rate.
The potential of India is enormous, and you have now a reformer, a radical reformer, who has the ability to transform it.
On the verge of a big transformation.
इस अमृत काल में हमारे संकल्पों की सिद्धि हमें आजादी के 100 वर्ष तक ले जाएगी.
A magnet for investment.
I'm actually incredibly excited about the future of India. I think India has more promise than any large country in the world.
The world is bullish on India. Moneycontrol is bullish on India. Join the campaign. Tweet to us with hashtag MC Bullish on India.